Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, I primarily have an update for you guys on Ripple and XRP. I showed you guys a couple of things regarding the XRP, or mostly SEC, yesterday. And one of the problems I noticed was one of my videos cut off a little bit. So don't worry about it. Today, I'm going to get you guys that little update as well. And if you didn't know what I'm talking about here, don't worry about it. All right, one of the first things I want to share is Crypto Airy, who put this over on her Twitter. You're correct, Charles Gasparino. This has become nonsensical. We're going to check out this little post, and we're going to check out Charles Gasparino's Twitter, because he just shared something which I think is rather interesting. The great New York Post graphics department. Let us see, right? He says, my latest New York Post column, CC Ripple, XP community, SEC case against Ripple Labs for XRP crypto sale. A bit of a double standard. Oh, we talked about this before. What did they talk about? Well, let's check it out here. Post business, Ripple effect, SEC case versus XRP. A bit of a double standard. And look at this freaking art. Chairman Gary Gensler, Securities and Exchange Commission, may be looking to beat down Ripple Labs for essentially building up its on-registered security XRP crypto in practically the same way Bitcoin and Ethereum had done earlier. And he just basically talks about that situation. I can read it for you, but I don't think it's completely necessary, as he's just basically putting out the fact that it doesn't really make any sense. And right now, most of these things are coming together that we have shared throughout the last couple of days. Some of the things which we shared, guys, have to do with the fact that, well, the SEC has not properly clarified Bitcoin or Ether. Right now, nobody really knows which of the two, if any, are actually properly regulated or have any status, because, well, some contradictory information has come out about that over the last couple of days. I mean, Charles Gasparino has also been sharing here quite significantly that the SEC hasn't made any proper claim about it. It's just really been confusing. So I've been checking that out, of course, what he's been posting about that. Then again, how that relates back and how that comes up. Here we go, by the way. How that relates back and how that comes up is that, well, how can XRP do something wrong if there's no real precedent for how we can measure this? And they always claim back to Howey. And I think that's one of the most practical points here, that it just doesn't really make sense to keep looking back at some decisions made 80 years ago and keep relating it to things which back then they couldn't even conceptualize, because at that point there weren't any computers in the way that we have now, and there weren't any digital things in the way we have now. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So I think that the fact that Ether and Bitcoin has not had a clarification really adds to it. Then again, there's also, of course, this layer of why did the SEC then let go all these statements regarding Bitcoin and Ether, and why did they go after XRP and not Ethereum? Like, what is going on in that sense? And Tony Edwards shared, hey XP community, I'll be interviewing next week the founder and president of Empower Oversight. We will discuss this lawsuit against the SEC and much more. And so I'm pretty excited to see what Tony is going to get going then, because Empower Oversight shared that they basically sued the SEC again. Empower Oversight sues the SEC for accessing to FOIA documents amid crypto conflict of interest concerns. There was basically a lawsuit the first time where they asked them for some information, and now they kind of have to ask them again. And I believe it is two separate lawsuits. Don't quote me on that, but I do believe that's the way it is. And if it isn't, that's still the way we interpret it. In August, Empower Oversight submitted a detailed FOIA request to the SEC seeking any communications related to senior SEC officials and their current and former employers regarding crypto. Former SEC official William Heyman received millions of dollars in compensation from his former employer, Simpson Thacher, while helping guide the SEC's regulation of crypto. Heyman helped promote Enterprise Ethereum Alliance during the time, and the creator of the crypto, known as XRP, was later sued by the SEC, which claimed that it was a security, causing XP to lose a quarter of its value. The man who brought the lawsuit against XRP, Mark Berger, one of the two, left for Simpson Thacher shortly after Heyman did the same. SEC failed to comply with 6 of the 8 categories of documents in Empower Oversight's FOIA request. According to the SEC, search for 2 of the categories found no records. Empower Oversight filed a complaint against the SEC in the U.S. District Court, Virginia, to compel the SEC to comply with the other 6 categories. This is Empower Oversight's second FOIA lawsuit filed since its launch, which is why I assume it's just a second separate thing. However, I'm not sure what the official naming of this would be. But then again, people are tagging all these senators now as well because, well, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for the SEC to not give this information up to the public. Here's, for example, Crypto Boss sharing, Ripple and the SEC worked together to raise billions of dollars to give to banks and U.S. governments. Now they will destroy Ripple and XRP to hide the scandal. Hundreds of billion dollars dumped from XRP. You know what I noticed, guys? I think a lot of this comes from the fact that people just are right now trying to speculate, trying to make up different theories, trying to think outside the box in regards to a couple of things we've seen recently. And those are predictions of XRP prices really sky high, and people thinking that because this lawsuit takes so long, that the SEC and Ripple are working under one hood, so to speak. So here's what Eleanor Terrett yesterday tweeted. We received proposed terms by Velo Capital for the Fed to purchase XRP from participating token holders. And they include ESDRs valued at $37.5 thousand per token. You can already kind of assume here that people looked at this number and were like, okay, so we got some special drawing rights here at $37.5 thousand per XRP. There must be some BS going on here because that makes no sense. Why would they ever value it that high? And they keep sharing, and I see this in the comment section quite often. People say, it's all a freaking show. These guys are all in one little spoof together to get the debt from the government away or something along those lines to just to get themselves some sort of benefit. And it's also because the reason why Ripple was sued is so odd, so awkward, it just doesn't make any sense. I see more and more people speculate this type of stuff. But again, they included EDSCRs valued at $37,000 per token, reserve rights to receive airdrops to the XP ledger, complete debt forgiveness, and a tax break for token holders and descendants. This is also a ridiculous request, but again, she's saying, I'm just reporting on what we were given and what Velo Capital has proposed to the Federal Reserve. If they were to accept something like that, though, guys, I think my head would explode because that would make absolutely no sense. But I think you guys are now are already kind of getting what's going on here. None of this stuff makes any sense whatsoever. I've shared this about 1,000 times, I think, on my channel before, but one of the main reasons why I am so extremely bullish on XRP and unconditionally bullish, I think, has to do with the fact that literally, if you explain this to a lawyer, they look at you and be like, what did you just tell me? Or like, what is that? If I explain it to my freaking friends here, no people would understand exactly the situation that's going on. But even if I explain it to my freaking self or a person who's been in crypto for a longer while, it just doesn't make any sense because it comes back to this. Bitcoin, Ether, they were fine, but they weren't fine. There was a speech which said they were fine, which is done by an individual who said it's his own opinion, but then again, it isn't because we noticed that before and we noticed that other SEC officials thought the same thing. And right after that, they went to work for a company which has a really big benefit in him making that speech. And right after that, they actually sued another crypto, which was in no way, shape, or form connected, nor really easy to win from. That also did not have a pre-sale like we were referring to with Ether, which would have been a way easier pick. But that's, again, they're biased kind of for because they're working for some of these companies. What in the world? Like, what is that? It blows my head up every time I try to read this type of stuff and try to go a layer deeper. And all I'm saying about this stuff is, man, if you think it's being manipulated like some of these guys think, I understand. If you think it's all just a big show, I understand. If you think XRP is meant for greatness, and that's really what we're building up right now, I understand. If you think that this whole lawsuit is done to make XRP the first properly regulated crypto, I understand. If you think Ripple is really sad that this happened and we're just really waiting for a result and it's all an honest process that's just weird, I also understand. There's no freaking line to pull through this stuff, guys. I've tried for many months right now, but I also notice how digital asset investor and Charles Gasparino are kind of turning into madmen in the public eye because they've found so much information that just does not add up. None of this stuff does. It really is one of the craziest things in crypto I've ever seen. Then again, I think it's proper that the SEC is getting some investigations here. Not exactly sure how not more entities are looking at this and be like, maybe we should do something about it. But in due time here, guys, I know that the freaking beans will spill. It's just a matter of time, but I think it will be fixed. And so I'm pretty excited about that. All right, but I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed this little video about me ranting about this XRP lawsuit making absolutely no sense. Sometimes I think it all does, and then another day I'll look at it and I'm like, nope, it definitely does not. Because there's no string to be pulled here. There's so many different sides of different opinions about it, and none of them make sense. What do you guys think about this? Do you think it's manipulated? Do you think it's all logical? Can you draw like a silver lining between it all? I mean, the extensions, we're not even talking about how the actual lawsuit is going internally. We're not even regarding that or talking about that. And the fact that the freaking founder and CEO got sued, but not for fraud because they didn't do anything wrong officially. They just got sued for some thing that people don't really conceptualize probably because it never happened before. It makes absolute... man, I got to stop this recording. Otherwise, I'm going to blabber on for another hour.